So those are my numbers. With the custom tune, it hit 482 wheel horsepower on a dyno jet and a max of 502 foot-pounds. These are my two dynos kind of side by side. Unfortunately, I couldn't do them at the exact same shop, but they are both on dyno jets, so similar setups. On this first one, from stock to stage 1, I gained about 60 horsepower and almost 85 foot-pounds of torque. And then going to my custom tune, I gained about 85 horsepower and another 55 foot-pounds of torque. So definitely noticeable gains. Even down low, you can see at 3,000 RPM, I'm putting out 500 foot-pounds now versus before I was barely hitting 450. So more torque down low, more power up top. You know, it definitely feels stronger everywhere, and the dynos kind of illustrate that. So I've gotten a lot of questions about my setup. Just to confirm, I have the TU pump, I have the VRSF Downpipe. I ended up going back to stock intake just because the diamond intake didn't net much of a gain in my experience. And then I added the CSF Heat Exchanger because this summer, with the temps going up, I wanted to help control the intake air temps. I also did drop my spark plug gap. I still have the Champions, but when things started getting really hot, I started experiencing some spark plug blowout. So to compensate for that, I dropped the gap to 0.020 inches, and that fixed the issue for me. I've been beating on it every day ever since. So a quick review of my tuner. I went with F80 Paul, flashed over boot mode, and he has been amazing to work with. He tuned progressively. Every revision was faster, and he worked towards the limits of the fuel pump. I know a lot of people say that the TU pump can't support fully E85 or it'll crash, and I didn't experience any of that during the tuning process or during any of my driving experience. I've driven it down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 95 in the peak of summer, and I've had no issues. If you tell Paul what you want to do, whether it's road racing, drag racing, roll racing, or just daily driving like me, he can set you up with a safe tune that'll work in all the conditions you drive in. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend going with Paul, but I can't necessarily recommend the E85 tune. And like I said, I installed the fuel pump back in December, posted that video, and then I started dialing in my tune in March of this year. And literally 3 weeks after I finished with my final revision, it took about 7 revisions, then MHD and boot mode came out with their off-the-shelf maps. If you compare that to my dyno, I'm hitting about 500 foot-pounds, and the dynos that I've seen on the Stage 2 Plus maps hit about 540 or 550, and I can see that in my logs as well. It hits more boost sooner because on E30 you can support more boost down low. However, up top, I am making maybe 10 to 15 horsepower more. So again, in my draggy times and all of my testing, the E85 map is incrementally faster, but I can't necessarily say that it's worth paying for a custom tune to run fully 85. The benefits that I do have right now is the car runs very strong, it runs cool, it smells good, like running with a catless downpipe. That was one of my aversions, is I didn't want to be able to smell gas in the car, and with E85 that smell is completely gone. But besides not having to mix and kind of those nice to have benefits, there really isn't a big power gain to be had. So if you're going with a custom tune on the TU pump, I'd recommend sticking with E30 to E50 to get the best of both worlds with low down torque and top end power. But if you really want to run fully 85, get a Dorch Stage 1 or an FX150, and that'll really make the tune worth it. You'll be able to run more boost everywhere and make some really good power. All right, so hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any other comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.